Hello all, I'm Soma, and welcome to a little series I'm making called CYL Shoutouts. In this series, I'll be giving a brief introduction of the characters I'm voting for in this year's Fire Emblem Heroes Choose Your Legends poll, as well as a quick rundown of why I chose to vote for them. One of the cool things about Heroes is letting fans get hip to cool characters in the series that they may not be familiar with. I realised most of the characters I'm voting for aren't in Heroes yet, and a couple are pretty deep cuts, so I thought, why not show them all a little love? Today though, we'll be starting with what's probably a pretty familiar face. Alm, the Hero of Prophecy. Alm is one of two lords in Fire Emblem Gaiden and its remake, Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia. He stars alongside Celica, who I think we all know quite well by now. Alm is a young man living in a quiet village known as Ram in the south of Zofia, one of the two nations of the continent Valentia. Up to when we meet him, Alm lives a quiet, nondescript life as a farmhand with his grandfather and renowned warrior, Myson. While Alm was extensively trained in combat and many other disciplines beyond his station by Myson as he grew up, he's very isolated from the world, never being allowed to leave his village for very long.
Except for this, I haven't been outside my village much.
This frustrates Alm and fosters in him a dream of getting out of his village and helping the world at large. He gets his chance when the Knight of Zofia, Lucas, appears at his village to petition Myson to join Zofia's resistance force, the Deliverance, in the war with Rigel, the other nation of Valentia currently attempting to invade. When Myson refuses to join, Alm takes it upon himself to join the Deliverance in his stead, along with his friends Gray, Tobin, and potentially Cliff and Faye. From there, Alm's path follows him helping the Deliverance push back against the Rigelian army to save their country, and making a name for himself along the way. Of course, things get a little spicier later on, but I'm going to try not to give very much away in these videos, so we'll cut it here. I'm voting for Alm because he's one of my favourite characters in the franchise. I guess you could say I'm part of his army. Sorry, but we're talking about the punniest lord in the series, so I had to represent. But for real, I find Alm to be one of the most charming protagonists I've met in the series so far. He has an upbeat, positive attitude, and I find his quirky, almost spacey persona quite endearing. His commentary during the point-and-click portions of the game demonstrate both his sense of humour and his curiosity at the world he's never had a chance to know, and is charming and genuinely quite funny. That's well balanced by his intense resolve and passion for justice. His desire to set out and do what he can to help the world is something I find quite admirable, and his generally well balanced demeanour and outlook on the world and war speaks to me. Underneath all that, he harbours a quiet feeling of dissociation and loneliness, having Myson as his only family, which I find an interesting contrast to what I mentioned earlier. As well as all that, I enjoy his interactions with several of the cast, especially Claire, who I ship him with, don't fight me. I also rather like his redesign in Echoes, as well as his voice performance, provided by Kyle McCarley, who you may recognise as Soren in Fire Emblem Heroes, 9S from Nier Automata, and Ryo Asuka from Devilman Crybaby. He's also not half bad as a unit, having pretty good base stats, strong growths, and perfect availability on his route, and when you get a certain sword of his, well, let's just say Heroes' refine of him is pretty accurate. And that's it. If you're unsure of who to vote for, maybe toss Alm a bone. He's one of only 4 lords without an ult yet, and the only one from a localized game, which is part of why I'm voting for him. He's actually the only character already in Heroes that I'm voting for. There's a lot of great options for him in terms of brave ults, and I kind of can't wait to see what they could come up with. Either way, I'll see you next time for the next CYL shoutout. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if Alm does win and he does get a brave ult, please don't make it the Dong armor. I know that's a meme, but it's not funny, guys. It's really not. This might be his only ult as well. I want him to look cool, not silly. But yeah, that is all.